All right, let's talk about one of the most feared topics on the digital SAT, quadratics. I know, you see those curves in the x-squareds and that little bit of panic starts to kick in. But I promise you, by the end of this, you won't just get them. You'll actually see them as easy, predictable points. Let's do this.
And it's true, right? You see an x squared, you see those big swooping parabolas, and it just feels intimidating. It's kind of designed to look like this major math challenge, and it is so easy to feel that panic when you're under pressure.
But this right here, this is the single most important thing you need to get. This isn't about some high-level complex math. The SAT isn't trying to find the world's next great mathematician. It's a pattern recognition test. Once you learn the patterns, it's just the same problem over and over and over again, just wearing a different disguise.
So, why this topic? Why are they so obsessed with quadratics? What is the SAT really trying to figure out when they throw one of these your way?
Well, because it's not really about being a math whiz. They're testing if you can spot a pattern, if you can handle your algebra without making silly mistakes, if you know when to switch from algebra to just looking at a picture. But honestly, most of all, they're testing if you can stay calm. Panic is totally optional, and we are choosing to opt out.
Okay, so if it's a pattern game, what is the pattern? It's this. Every single quadratic question you will ever see on the SAT is built around one of three specific forms. Think of these as the secret code.
And listen, this is a huge mental shift. Before you even start solving, before you type anything into your calculator, your only goal is to ask yourself, which of the three forms am I dealing with? Because once you identify the form, you know exactly what to do next.
This slide right here, this is your ultimate cheat sheet. Seriously, every quadratic question falls into one of these three buckets: standard, factored, or vertex. Each one looks different, and each one has a specific job. The test gives you clues about which one to use. Your goal isn't to memorize a bunch of formulas, it's to learn how to pick the right tool for the job.
First up is standard form. You know, the classic. This is the one you probably learned first in school. If a question starts asking about the sum of coefficients or wants you to expand something out, you're in this world.
Next, we've got factored form. This one is a dead giveaway. As soon as you see the words roots, zeros, solutions, or x-intercepts, a giant light bulb should be going off in your head. It's practically screaming the answer at you right there in the factors. And finally, there's vertex form. This one is all about the graph. The second a question mentions the maximum height of a baseball, or the minimum cost of something, or the vertex of a parabola, you know this is the form you need. It literally hands you the coordinates of that exact point. Now, knowing the forms is step one. Step two is learning how to move between them. And to do that, there are two core skills you absolutely, positively have to nail down. The first skill is expanding, usually using FOIL. You're just going from factored form back to standard form. But here's the thing. The SAT knows people get sloppy here. They make little mistakes with negative signs. And guess what? The wrong answer choices are designed specifically to catch those small errors. So go slow. Be careful. The second skill is just the reverse. Factoring. And you do not need to be a math genius to do this. For an expression like this one, you just have to turn it into a simple little puzzle.
So, what two numbers multiply to the last number, 10, and add up to the middle one, 7? Well, it's 5 and 2. So the factors are just x plus 5 and x plus 2. That's it. The SAT almost never gives you some ugly, complicated factoring problem. They're just testing if you know the simple, clean process.
Okay, we've talked about the algebra. But what if I told you there's a tool built right into the digital SAT that lets you just bypass a lot of the hardest algebra altogether?
No, I'm serious. For a lot of the trickiest, nastiest looking problems, the most efficient, most accurate, and flat-out fastest way to get the right answer is
To not do the algebra at all. It's Desmos. The graphing calculator that's part of the test interface is a complete and total game changer for quadratics. If you're not using it, you are willingly playing the game on hard mode for absolutely no reason.
Just think about it for a second. You can type in any quadratic expression and instantly see the graph. You can literally click on the points where it crosses the x-axis to find the roots. You can click on the highest or lowest point to find the vertex. A question that might take you 2 minutes of careful, stressful algebra becomes a 10-second job. You graph it, you glance at it, and you choose your answer. It's amazing.
So, let's put this all together. How do we use this knowledge to actually win the game on test day? Well, it all comes down to having the right mindset and knowing what traps to look out for.
This is the mental shift I was talking about.
The myth is that quadratics are scary, advanced math that need complicated formulas. The reality? They are a predictable pattern test. Your goal is not to be a human calculator. It's to be a smart test taker who picks the best tool for the job, whether that's factoring, vertex form, or just graphing the thing on Desmos.
And here they are, the classic traps the SAT sets for you. These are where so many points are lost. Forgetting the plus or minus, mixing up your signs, answering for X when they asked for Y. Just be aware of these. The SAT rewards careful, deliberate thinkers, not just fast ones.
And let's be crystal clear about the stakes here. You are going to see multiple quadratics on your test, especially in that harder second module. You simply cannot get a top-tier score without being fluent in these. But the good news is, once you master these patterns, they stop being a barrier, and they start becoming some of the most reliable points on the entire test.
So forget the monster. Quadratics are just a puzzle with really clear rules and a built-in cheat code. They are free points in disguise, just waiting there for you to claim them. The only question left is, are you ready?